North and South Korean officials are set to meet tomorrow for the first time in like 2 years. And a spokesman for the South Korean government says they could talk about more than just the upcoming Olympics in South Korea. President Trump taking some credit for the talks, saying they wouldn't be happening if it weren't for his tough stance on North Korea. The president also saying that he's absolutely open to talking to the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un at some point. Rich Edson with the news. He's live at the State Department this afternoon. And this all happening while the United States is trying to isolate North Korea.
Shep, it has been for months. The Secretary of State has been trying to cut off North Korea economically, diplomatically, try to get other countries to remove their North Korean guest workers and get countries to sign on to UN Security Council resolutions. The U.S. at first was fairly skeptical, tried to downplay some of these talks. But then this weekend, the president tweeting basically that these talks were a result of his tough talk over Twitter and that perhaps he'd like to see good things come out of these discussions, though other administration officials are saying that they are watching these talks closely.
The North Koreans are behaving out of fear. That is, they are very concerned that America, for the first time in an awfully long time, is serious about denuclearizing the peninsula. And I think they're trying to find a foothold, trying to find a place to reach out. And we'll just have to wait and see how the conversation's going.
The South Korean government says that it's trying to push a discussion of larger issues. South Korean President Moon Jae-in has been pushing for more talks, better relations between North and South Korea. As for the original intent of these discussions, North Korea has been saying it's likely they will send athletes to the Olympic Games in South Korea next month, Shep.
Some critics are sending warnings out about these talks.
Yeah, they are. Analysts are warning, some of them, that this is essentially an attempt by the North Korean dictator to drive a wedge between the United States and South Korea on this issue, with the ultimate goal of North Korea to get the U.S. out of Korea for the first time in 70 years. They also point to something the U.S. announced last week, that at the request of the South Korean government, the U.S. is suspending military exercises during the Olympics. The administration says that's because they want to free up the resources for South Korea so they can protect their country during the Olympics. But that is something, a suspension of those military exercises, that North Korea has been pushing for a long time, as have China and Russia, and the U.S. and South Korea have agreed to disband them for at least this one time and got nothing from North Korea out of it, Jeb.
All right. Thanks very much, Rich Edson at the State Department. Let's turn to Michael O'Hanlon now, Senior Fellow of Foreign Policy at the Brookings Institution. Michael specializes in U.S. defense strategy and the use of military force. Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Shep. Happy 2018.
Yes, you too. How do you feel about this North Korea situation now?
Well, I think all of what you just said with Rich is correct, and there's one additional potential danger, which is North Korea just wanting to seem reasonable in the eyes of China and Russia, so the sanctions are loosened or not fully enforced. Having said all of that, I support them because some degree of diffusing what's become an urgently dangerous crisis between one nuclear-armed country run by a dictator and then, a very powerful alliance to the south. This has been, in many ways, the scariest thing in the second half of 2017 and to start the new year. So anything that gives us a chance of calming the tension is good. But let's not forget what happened in previous Olympic periods when people used the Olympics either as a cover for aggression. That's what Russia did in 2008 with the Beijing Olympics when it invaded Georgia, or when Russia then, after its own Olympics in 2014, annexed Crimea. So even if we get a couple months of a lull, we've got to have a strategy for what would then come next to make sure we're not taken advantage of, to make sure we don't squander whatever opportunity we may have for diplomacy.
And how do you work out that strategy? And once you get it together, how do you implement it?
Well, I think the key element here is we're not going to be able to fully denuclearize North Korea with the first deal. There's still debate on this. A lot of people don't agree with what I just said, but there are very few people who really believe that Kim Jong-un can be induced to give up his nuclear arsenal, even if the economic squeeze tightens. And very few people who think that China's really going to want to tighten that squeeze indefinitely. So I think we need to go for some kind of a verifiable freeze on the production of nuclear materials as well as the testing of nuclear and missile capabilities. And that needs to be our goal. We cannot give too much for that goal. It's a fallback for us from our earlier position of complete denuclearization. And we cannot legitimate or recognize the North Korean nuclear arsenal as official and legal. But an interim deal, I think, is going to be our best bet. And I think, it can probably at least prevent this crisis from getting worse and the North Korean nuclear arsenal from continuing to grow.
Let's hope so. Michael O'Hanlon, Happy New Year. Good to see you.
Thank you, Shep.